What if all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and the first thing you open your eyes to is a blue holographic square with a text saying accept quest on it? What would you do? Others would feign ignorance, saying that it's impossible and it's just some weird surreal dream, and others would faint in disbelief, thinking that there's no possible way that this could be happening, right? But those who read manhwas are a different story, because we all know what this is, right? The system. Ha Dowan, the rising supernova of the Bullies Council's Borame territory, and Kim Soohyun, Gangbuk's #1 prospect hailing from the West Gangbuk High. What these two have in common is that they were both chosen by the system. Hi, my name's Kaiseni, and in today's video we're gonna be pitting the two most recognized system users in manhwa in a fiery death battle against each other. But real quick, a good 90.4% of people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you enjoy the content I make, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can always unsubscribe later. But in this battle of system users, who do you think would come out on top? Without further ado, this is Reality Quest versus Questism. Ha Dowan is a high school loser turned territory owner thanks to his system. His system gave him the capability of increasing his strength, durability, speed, and agility seemingly infinitely. And like a good delinquent, he uses the potential to beat up his rival bullies. His fighting arsenal consists of the multi-strike destruction attack, landing multiple blows in a flash, kind of like a stand barrage from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, the Falcon Trap attack, a downward facing kick where Dowan jumps and axe kicks his opponent's head, usually used against taller opponents. The blind spot strike, where Dowan catches his opponents off guard by striking their blind spot at an incredible speed. But don't be fooled, as the blind spot strike doesn't sacrifice any power at all when aiming for a cheap shot, so not only does it strike you at full power, you'll never even see it coming, making it one of Dowan's most powerful moves. The Stun Smash, a grappling technique where Dowan grabs onto his opponent and slams them into the ground, essentially a judo throw, and arguably Dowan's most powerful yet risky attack, the Trod Shot, where the longer Dowan closes his eyes, the more powerful the attack becomes. I think you can see why this attack is a double-edged sword, sacrificing mobility and sight for an intense power boost. Dowan is known for his incredible knowledge in video games, as in his former life that's all he knew. Due to this fact, Dowan's former knowledge assisted him in growing stronger. Since his life is now a video game, it was easier for him to grow quickly, as he knew exactly what to do to gain power and skills. In my opinion, when it comes to skill, Dowan definitely has Soohyun beat, as he's fought with much more skillful fighters and knows how the system works better than how Soohyun does. He's a lot more meticulous when it comes to techniques and fights, preferably finishing them quick instead of dragging them out like Soohyun does. Dowan is also incredibly tenacious, maybe even more so than Soohyun, as he was willing to jump onto a moving car just to try and catch whoever he was chasing. I think that in this battle, Soohyun would definitely be caught off with Dowan's skill and tenacity, along with his speed and efficiency. If Dowan finishes the fight before Soohyun can gauge what his strengths are and counter them, then that'll prove fatal for Soohyun. Adding his passives, the critical hit, damage boost, durability negation, and weapon mastery along with the instinctive action, along with giving Dowan a weapon, that'll definitely surely prove insanely difficult for Soohyun to combat, but we aren't taking into account Dowan's trump card, the Black Lock. The Black Lock is Dowan's most powerful weapon. With the lock of the, lock, Dowan's body gets taken over by a mysterious and powerful entity whose only goal is to fight, kill, and conquer. With the Black Lock activated, Dowan's body moves automatically, using all of his skills and movements in the most efficient way possible. This means that Dowan would be moving at 100% for the amount of time he's in Black Lock, with no imperfections whatsoever. Along with this, we have to take into account the morality negation the Black Lock activates when Dowan has activated it. Not having any mercy whatsoever very well might be the deciding factor of this fight, as in combat, Soohyun's conscience may still be intact, but Dowan's isn't. And that just might be the deciding factor of this all. Again, we're aiming to kill here, so as long as Dowan pressures Soohyun enough to either make him use both of his recovery beans or outright just not give him the space to use them, Soohyun might actually be done for. As for the soon-to-be leader of Gangbuk, Kim Soohyun isn't a slouch either. First-hand experiencing the hardships of being bullied, after given the system, the progress he's made so far is nothing to scoff at. Being strong enough to take over 2 territories in Gangbuk, due to his extensive training, he's given himself the basics of enhanced durability, strength, and speed. But what makes him different from everyone else are his abilities. So let's take a look at them, shall we? Now, having enhanced strength, speed, and endurance is all right and all, but what really makes Soohyun powerful is his versatility in fighting. Being a master of boxing, taekyon, and taekwondo, just from that alone, Dowan would have a hard time figuring out how Soohyun fights, but eventually he will, and that's where Soohyun's cards come in. See, the difference between Soohyun's system and Dowan's system is Soohyun's system seems to be a little more unique in how it makes him stronger. It also seems to be more generous, giving Soohyun powerful cards like the Copy Cloud card, where an entity copies another being. If Soohyun were to use this card, it would essentially make the fight outright a 2v1, or the Load card, which allows him to copy abilities like Ha Jun-goo's Overlord's Descent, making Dowan unable to move. He's also gone up against some incredibly strong fighters for experience like his rivals turned allies like Han Jae-ha, Kyu Ha-jun, and Kang Seok. Through them, he learned counters for taekwondo, boxing, wrestling, dirty fighting, kendo, aikido, and so on and so forth. So in terms of experience, Soohyun isn't lacking either. And like Dowan, Soohyun also has a weapons-based martial art in his bag called the Arnis. I think this would be enough to rival Dowan's weapon mastery ability, and I'd argue even outmaneuver him due to Kali Arnis having 2 weapons as opposed to just 1. And when it really comes down to it, when things get tricky, Soohyun has a few cards to save him when he's in dire straits. The Healing Bean, which acts like a Senzu Bean from Dragon Ball and replenishes all lost stamina and strength to 100, which he can use twice a day. And Soohyun's final resort, the Berserker card, which grants him immunity to damage for 2 minutes when active. Along with this, he can also use the Load card to copy Kang Seok's Invincible Wrestler, which when activated again grants him immunity to damage whilst causing his stats to rise exponentially. Paired with Han Jae-ha's Revenger card, where as long as he has hate for Dowan in his heart, his ability grow at an even more colossal rate. Soohyun becomes a monster at this state and might just rival Dowan's Black Lock. But who do you think would win? To the victor goes the spoils. Leave your champion in the comments below, and so yeah.